Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel, and in our top stories today, there was much rejoicing, much celebration here in the United States as we had an opportunity to yet again exercise our liberties and freedoms. If you follow my channel, you know that I am a staunch conservative and have my, biases, as it were, but in all, I believe that I should be able to exercise my liberties, and I then recognize and respect that others should exercise their liberties. So when it comes to these mandates, or a mandate, of course, I'm going to be anti-mandate, not necessarily against those who want to wear a mask or those who want to receive vaccinations. So I want to make that clear, that I am anti-mandate and not necessarily against individuals who want to exercise their liberties like I want to exercise my liberties. So we see here from Ron DeSantis, great to see a federal judge in Florida follow the law and reject the Biden transportation mask mandate. Both airline employees and passengers deserve to have this misery end. And of course, a lot of people are focusing, particularly me and others, focusing on reject the Biden transportation mandate because, of course, you're not going to anticipate and expect the media to focus on the rejection of Biden as they do with Trump when he was rejected for certain things like whether or not he could send out the National Guard to states and cities. But of course, the mainstream media is going to be the mainstream media. And as you see here, they're not focusing on Joe Biden being rejected or that the mask mandate being rejected. No, they got to focus on the judge. Well, at least in this particular article from NPR, right? And they say here, what to know about Judge Catherine Missel, who struck down the travel mask mandate. Oh, that judge in Florida. Oh, she just struck down that mask mandate that Joe Biden had. But they don't mention that. Notice that they don't mention the fact that it struck down a Joe Biden policy, as it were. Well, a Joe Biden instruction or mandate. U.S. District Judge Catherine Kimball Missel struck down the federal mask mandate for airlines and other modes of public transportation Monday, writing in a 59-page ruling that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention had exceeded its authority and failed to follow proper rulemaking procedures. Of course, that is the technical aspect of it. At least they had the presence of mind to list that. That decision, which led to U.S. airlines and other transportation hubs to promptly drop their mask mandates, has elicited mixed responses from travelers and concern from public health experts. Really? So no one wants to focus on the fact that a mandate was implemented that forced people to an extent to either wear a mask or not have a job, wear a mask or not fly on a plane, wear a mask or not use any form of public transportation that required a mandate. No, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the fact that health experts are going to be concerned. Well, I'm sure not every single health expert is going to be concerned, but let's really focus on what they're really trying to get at, which is right here. So Missel sits on the district court for the Middle District of Florida. She was nominated by, she was nominated by former President Donald Trump in September 2020 at the age of 33 and confirmed by a 49-41 Senate vote later that year. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Instead of focusing on the fact that it was a Joe Biden mandate that was rejected, no, let's go after the judge. Let's call her out. Let's dox the judge, because how dare her impede and interfere with what Joe Biden had done. Now, they don't emphasize the fact. I think they should emphasize it just like Ron DeSantis did, but of course they're not going to. So this is what the media does. This is what the left does. This is what the establishment does. This is what the cabal does. This is what the deep state does. I'm not sure why I just didn't include all those in one particular sentence, but nonetheless, suffice it to say, this is what they do. They go after the judge instead of focusing on the fact that the mandate has been lifted. And there was a lot of celebration. And I just kind of pulled up people celebrating no mask on flights. And I saw it all across the media. They were showing people celebrating, and there was even flight attendants celebrating. And one was singing and saying, you no longer have to wear your mask. And they carried around bags that allowed them to throw away their mask. I don't want to play any of these for copyright reasons because the media is absolutely terrible about going after you if you use any clips that appears in their particular periodicals, articles, or news stories. So as you can see here, the New York Post, there's the Newsweek, and there's two different ones from Newsweek, and there's different ones. Passengers cheer when told about the mask mandate. Judge decision to avoid mask mandate prompts mid-flight, celebrations. Throw away your mask. Flight attendant sings. That's the one I was just saying. That's pretty good. Passengers cheers, airlines. So you get the point. But the idea here is, and I want to emphasize this again, the left is always, well, not every person on the left and not every single Democrat agrees with there being mandates or authoritarianism. It's usually just particular pockets of groups. I would argue maybe a lot of the left do, but not all Democrats. I have Democrat friends who also believe very similar to me, and that is, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you want to get your vaccinations, get your vaccinations. I am not ripping people's masks off their faces or, trying to shut down vaccination centers. I'm not doing any of that, nor are most people rational, cogent, realistic people. Now, I think if the roles were reversed, I wonder if we would see particular protest from particular groups at these stations if the roles were reversed. I think maybe we would, because we've seen how active BLM, Black Bloc, and Antifa can be. But of course, the media had to go after the judge in this particular situation because, of course, their guy, Joe Biden, or the establishment plant surrogate vote-by-mail president, was rejected yet again by the mandates, very much like they did with OSHA, where businesses did not have to force individuals to be vaccinated to keep their jobs, and now flying on transportation. And here's the thing: it should never have been made a us versus them. This should never have been a mask versus no mask. This should never have been vaccine versus not vaccinated, because we should have always exercised liberty and freedom. And here's the problem, and let me explain this to you as clearly as I can put it. The reason individuals like gun grabbers and Democrats are pro-mask mandates is because they exercise forms of authoritarianism, and that is because they don't trust anyone who doesn't think and act and absorb their philosophy, worldviews, ideologies, principles, and values. That's it. If they can't trust you, you must be shut down. If you're presenting better ideas, if you're presenting better solutions, if you have better concepts, things that are more practical than what they have to offer, then you are censored. And as you can see with this judge here, they're basically doxing her here in the most light-hearted kind of way. But obviously they wanted everyone to know that this was a judge appointed by Donald Trump. Of course, they kind of give a little bit of a background on how young she is and this, that, and the other. But nonetheless, guys, that's what I had for you guys today in these top stories. I hope you're liking these shorter formats, and I will see you guys in the next video.